Welcome back to Data in Action. Today we are exploring how big enterprises tackle one of their hardest challenges, managing massive and complex data landscapes. And I'm excited to welcome our guest, Danylo Diachenko, Data Architect at NIX, who is expert in building systems that turns data in actionable insights. Today, we will find out how companies can overcome many of their data challenges with Palantir Foundry and share some of real-world cases with you. For someone who's never worked with it, what exactly is Palantir Foundry?
Sure. So Palantir Foundry is a platform that brings all of companies' data into one place. It connects systems that normally don't talk to each other and keeps the data versioned and traceable. Everyone sees the same number, and you can always check where they came from. Once the data is connected, Foundry lets teams turn it into reusable assets, curated datasets, metrics, or APIs. These can be shared across departments so people stop rebuilding the same work in isolation. Because governance and access rules are built in, sensitive data is handled safely and compliance is easy to prove.
Could you please elaborate on how Foundry enhances collaboration and mitigates data-related issues within an organization?
Yeah, it also makes collaboration less fragile. Finance, operations, and product teams can work on the same data at the same time without stepping on each other's toes, because changes are versioned and conflicts are managed. And because Foundry tracks how data flows through the organization, it becomes easy to spot where a process is slow or where data quality is breaking down. That insight alone can reveal inefficiencies no one noticed before. With this foundation, companies can build tools and lightweight apps directly on top of their data. That means less time moving data around and more time acting on it. All decisions get made faster, mistakes are easy to catch, and projects that used to take months can be delivered in weeks. This is why many organizations end up using Foundry not just as a data tool, but as their backbone for how they run their business. It stands out not by having the fastest compute or the cheapest storage, but by turning complexity into coherence. Other tools can replicate parts of the workflow, but Foundry integrates governance, lineage, and semantic understanding in a way that becomes hard to replace once the organization relies on it.
Thanks for sharing that. Foundry's strength isn't any single feature, flexibility, speed, or integrations. It's a combination. Building on what we discussed before, it makes all companies' data connected and trusted.
From a technical view, Foundry handles the whole stack. You get a version storage like a Git for code, pipelines that automatically recompute when upstream data changes, and a semantic layer where business concepts are defined once and reused everywhere. That means teams don't spend months writing infrastructure, they focus on insights and applications. Governance and security are built in at every layer. Fine-grained access, audit trails, and policy enforcement. For regulated industries, this alone is a huge advantage over do-it-yourself stacks. On top of that, Foundry lets you build apps directly on your data. Dashboards, APIs, lightweight tools. The platform also manages compute and pipelines behind the scenes, so you're not maintaining Spark clusters or orchestration manually.
That coherence, integration, governance, lineage, and application layer together is what makes it hard to replace. However, some might wonder if this kind of coherence comes at the cost of flexibility. What does Foundry balance both?
You're not locked into Foundry for everything. You can ingest data from external systems, process parts of it elsewhere, or expose data products to other platforms. Foundry integrates with cloud services, databases, and messaging systems, so you can adopt it gradually. Implement the parts that solve your biggest pain points first, and continue using your existing infrastructure where it makes sense.
Can you share a real-world use case?
Sure. For example, one of our clients required us to build a dashboard as a standalone app based on React.js. On the Foundry side, we expose the necessary data products via APIs, leverage versioned datasets for consistency, and use the ontology layer to provide business-friendly data structures. This lets the React app consume reliable, governing data without running inside Foundry itself, demonstrating that how the platform can power external tools while maintaining control and traceability. By the way, fun facts, during these projects, we run into performance limitations with Foundry built-in ontology app when handling very large datasets for bulk queries. Palantir responded by developing a completely new, optimized service to support our clients' needs, which is not directly platform strengths, but also a plus, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see. To sum up, it means that large organizations can modernize their data capabilities without ripping and replacing everything at once. Before we move on, what's the one insight for working with geospatial data in Foundry you can think more companies should know?
Our other clients works tightly with geospatial data. Basically, everything runs around it, and Foundry provides just marvelous tools to work with it and build applications with maps on top. Usually, it uses specialized libraries to work with geodata, but it is wrapped into Pipeline Builder, an all-code solution that can speed up development approximately by 10 times, but that's already a different topic.
Let's now talk about the types of organization and industries that can benefit most from using Palantir Foundry and why.
From my experience, Foundry shines where complexity is high and the cost of mistakes is significant. Large enterprises with multiple siloed systems, finance, operations, supply chain, logistics, healthcare tend to benefit the most. Basically, anywhere data lives in many places and teams need to act on it fast while keeping everything auditable and consistent. One way to frame it is through the lens of data maturity. Red's Pandas Data Engineering Fundamentals outlines stages from basic reporting to fully integrated self-service analytics. Foundry really accelerates organizations that are in the mid to high stages, where they have lots of raw data but struggle with reproducibility and governance, cross-team collaboration. It helps move companies from data chaos to a more mature state where insights can be reliably turned into action. For example, one client struggled with the operational planning because data from multiple sources never lined up. Using Foundry, they built some shared semantic layer, version datasets, and a set of dashboards that teams across regions could trust. Another client, heavily involved in logistics, used geospatial pipelines to optimize routing, integrate an external map, and traffic data. What used to take weeks now updates daily with traceability.
Great summary. Thank you, Danylo, for joining and sharing not just the what of Foundry, but the real-world stories of how companies use it. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode. Let us know if you have any questions about leveraging Palantir Foundry in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, keep putting your data in action.